Alright there guys, and welcome back to a very, very long-awaited return of the second channel. That's right, January 31st, 2024 was the last time a video was posted on this channel. It's been so long that I got an email earlier this year telling me that I've lost access to some features of this channel because it's been so long since I last posted on it. Quickly, the reason why I haven't posted on the second channel in over a year is because I was so focused on the main channel last year, and also moving house means I get even less time than I did before to record videos for the main channel, so having time to record videos for this channel became even harder than it already was. But I've taken a very small break from the main channel to give this channel the much needed attention it deserves. So with that out of the way, welcome back to Real Talk. It's episode 29, and this episode is going to be about the pros and cons of having children. So, as somebody who A, doesn't have children, B, doesn't think he ever will, and C, hasn't been in a relationship by the time he's reached his mid-20s, I am obviously the most qualified person to talk about this topic. So the reason I came up with this idea was I remembered something about these things called sinks and dinks, which were single income no kids and dual income no kids. These were like influencers that got popular around 2023, where their entire basis of content is the fact that they don't have children. So I thought it'd be an interesting idea for this series if we had to talk about the pros and cons of having children. So we'll start off with the pros. The first pro being, of course, having a child could give you a new lease of life that you didn't even know you had in you. Like, having a child could brighten up your whole life in a way you never even thought about possibly ever happening. Like, the child is basically like a ball of sunshine that lights up your whole experience of life in a way you just never even thought about possibly happening. The next pro is you could the fulfillment and enjoyment of watching your child grow up into possibly a mini version of you or your girlfriend/wife, depending on if your child depending if it's your son or daughter. Feeling some sense of like pride in this person that you brought into this world, have raised and nurtured the child into the type of person you would hope for your child to be, whilst the child having his or her own independent thoughts and how he or she wants to be. Another reason I decided to come up with this idea is because it's no secret that fertility rates all across the world, especially in the West, are going down at a rapid rate. In Japan, it's a downright crisis. This the fact that they're not that they're couples just aren't having children as much as what they used to. So we always hear about overpopulation. Yeah, soon enough it's going to be underpopulation with where how every single year now deaths are far exceeding births in different parts around the world. So encouraging people to have more children, I mean, Japan has been trying to do that anyway. Maybe more places around the world should encourage people to have more children. In Hungary, for example, the government basically is giving couples like loans to help with their children. But if that said couple has 3 children, they don't have to pay that loan off anymore. If they only have like 1 or 2, they do. But if they have 3 children, that loan no longer has to be paid off. So that could work. But yeah, now that we've gone over the pros, it's time to go over some of the cons. The first con would be you will receive a significantly less amount of sleep in the first few years of your child's life. I know that sounds like a very obvious one, but it is still a downside. Sure, the payoff in the end makes it worth it, but it doesn't change the fact that it is a downside. You're going to be sleeping a lot less for the first 2 to maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years of your child's life, because that's just typically what happens. Now, I said at the beginning of this video that I don't ever expect to have children, mainly because, I mean, who the hell would ever want to reproduce with this? That's basically my reasoning for why I don't ever expect to have children. Not that I don't want them, it's just I don't ever expect to have them. But yeah, sleep is of course one of the most important things in the world for a person, and not having much of it is going to physically and mentally drain you more. But as I said, the payoff in the end will hopefully for you be worth it after everything. And probably another big con of having children is if the child just isn't respectful. Like, no matter how hard you've tried to ensure rules and respect, discipline and stuff like that into your child, and they just don't have it. Like, some children just are like that. Like, a lot of people say that if the way a child acts, I obviously when I say child, I don't mean I could mean literal child or literally just somebody's son or daughter. Like, I am still somebody's child, despite the fact that I'm not literally a child. If you know what I mean by that. A lot of people some people say that you can determine what type of person. By the way someone's child acts, you can determine the type of people that person's parents are. Now, that is true in some cases, but I don't believe that's true in all cases. Like, you could have two parents that are really good people and try their best for their child, and their child is still just a massive bellend. And of course, the other way around. The two parents could be absolutely horrible people and really, really bad parents, but the child still grows up and acts as and is a good person. So it's not necessarily always true. Like, yeah, sure, most of the time probably how the parents are can determine a bit of how the child is going to act, but not always. Now we're going to talk about a couple of reasons why people don't want kids, because of course more and more people are saying they don't want kids. Now, well, the first reason is by far the most valid one in my personal opinion: financial reasons. You don't believe you can financially afford to raise a child, and well, that is a very valid reason, because why would you want to bring a child into the world that you know you can't support financially? It just doesn't seem why would you do something like that? Because it's gonna be a negative thing for you, but also the child you've brought into the world. But there's some other reasons. Like, one of them and the next reason is people literally they simply just don't want children. Like, they just simply don't want them. Like, I've seen pages on social media dedicated to celebrating and like promoting not having children, which I find is very odd, personally. And the last reason I'll give is one reason that none of these people will ever admit to. The ones who say they don't want children, some of them will just never admit this. Deep down they know it's true, but they will never ever admit this. That reason is they don't have the emotional maturity to raise a child. That's the one big reason that these people will never ever admit to. But deep down, they know it's true. You don't want to raise a child because because you're not emotionally mature enough. You know you aren't responsible enough to raise a child to bring a child into this world. And that is all I have for you for the first episode of Real Talk in over a year. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and until we meet again on this channel, see you in the next one.